Hey guys, welcome back to the shop, and in today's episode we're going to be working on my 2005 Yamaha V-Star 1100. Actually, it's not my V-Star, it's Dave's from Sunset Originals. He gave me a call. I'm not allowed to have nice stuff apparently, so I just live vicariously through other people's nice stuff. Because it's not really running right. I mean, I'm going to show you in a second. It seems to be only running on one cylinder, and we're going to fix that. We're going to have to probably take the tank apart. But we're going to do the basics. We're going to start by checking spark on both cylinders. We're going to make sure that the fuel's good. We're going to make sure that it's getting flow. And then we're going to rip into it if we really have to. So let's get started. So I think the first thing we should do is make sure that there's fuel in this tank. And yeah, there's lots of fuel in there, but it doesn't smell great. You know, like I've talked about this before, guys. It smells like it's got maybe a little bit of varnishy smell. It's, is that in there? Yeah, it is. So I don't know. Chances are it's probably been topped off with some fresh fuel, which is what's giving it, you know, that kind of flavor, so to speak. We've got fuel valve on. Now let's see if I can duplicate what Dave was telling me. So that's your fuel pump. There she goes. She's all primed up. Full choke. Make sure we're in neutral. Clutch in. Oh, so yeah. Definitely running rough. These things usually run super smooth, like glass. I can't even give it any throttle. So yeah, it only runs on full choke. Come on. That's all we're going to get out of it. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Let's see if maybe it's just a dead plug. So in order to check the plugs on this thing, you got to remove the tank anyways, because those plugs are sitting right on top. So in order to do that, you got to take the seat. So there's going to be a little bit of ripping and tearing here, and then we'll kind of get back to where we were. Just like that. So we made our way to the spark plugs, and do you have to remove the tank? Not necessarily. I mean, I went even one step further by removing the airbox here, but you can get to them. The front plug is right here after you remove the beauty cover, and then there's one on the back side on the opposite side. So I'm going to start by removing the one in the back, check for spark there, check for spark in the front, and hopefully, like I said, maybe it's just a dead plug. Alright, let's see what this one looks like. And apparently the rubber on my spark plug socket is missing. It makes it difficult to get the plugs out. This one doesn't look bad. It looks actually fairly new. And I think Dave said he did replace them. So that one's okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a spark tester. I'm going to ground it to the engine. Where's my lead here? I'm going to set it in. And we're going to look for some spark. There's lots of spark. Ow!
You're such a liar.
Ah, no, that actually really got me pretty good. There's lots of spark on this one. Woo! That's electrifying. No point intended. Ah! Okay. That wasn't supposed to happen. Normally, with these spark testers, you don't get a shock. That's why I like these. I must have messed up somewhere. I must have touched it. I don't know. My hand's tingly now. Okay, let's move on to the front. Okay. This one's a little bit more difficult to get to. I'm going to guess that if the back one is pretty new, this one's probably going to be very similar. Oh yeah. This one's in good shape as well. Now let's see if we can electrocute ourselves again. Joking, because that's not cool. Hey Gab, why don't you come hold this? No, seriously, it's not that bad. I was just kidding. Your turn. You can hold it.
I'm good.
Okay. Now I'm actually kind of scared. Oh, I got an idea. I'm gonna put on a glove and see if that helps. Watch it and not do anything. It should, in theory, help, right? Okay. Let's see. I don't want to hit the button. I'm scared to hit the button. No. Okay. Oh yeah. So the glove works, and we got lots of spark. Can you guys see it?
Yep, I used it.
So that's good news. Means that we got spark, but it's also bad news because it's not the spark. So I'm happy we took all this apart because we're going to carry on and we're going to take these carbs apart, because if I remember in the conversation I had with Dave, he said that he bought it from a friend and it's been sitting for about 5 years. And anything that's been sitting for that length of time, if it wasn't stored properly, chances are we're going to see some nastiness in the carbs. I think I'm going to just start by removing some boots here to gain access. And this one's actually got something in there, like thickness.
Like it.
No. No. Come on. It's gross. So yeah, that's pretty nasty. So that's like super thick, oily gas. We're going to clean these up. Move the next one. So I'm going to go make 2 piles here. So front stuff, back stuff, because there's a lot going on here. So the front carb looks kind of wet, but this carb, not so much. It's a little bit, but I don't know. Hard to tell. Hard to tell what's going on. Pretty good chance that this has never been apart. And the reason I say that is because the heaters and all that stuff going to the bottom of these carbs is still tie wrapped with the original OEM tie wraps. So, I feel privileged to be the first guy to open up this 2005. See what the inside of these carbs look like. Disconnect the fuel line on this side. Hopefully there's not much. And there's a little bit. Then I'm also going to undo the throttle. I'm just going to crack this loose. Pop this over on one side, just like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, now we can undo the choke cable. That should do for all the cables. And I think we have one fuel line right here that we need to undo. Much easier that way. One thing about something that's been together for so long that everything, all the lines are stuck now. A little bit more drippage, not too big. And we should now, after we loosened off the carbs, I should now be able to take the whole carb assembly and twist it and pop it out of its home. Then from there we'll undo the electrical. Oh, we've got drippage. We've got drippage. Did I just make that look easy? Because that was the first time I tried. That's good, right? Pretty proud of myself. Alright, so now, got our electrical down here. Alright, so now I got one electrical here. And I now get to break the tie wraps that have been there from brand new. And never mind, maybe I'll have to get a cutter. And snip. And I think there's one final, yes. So this would be your throttle position sensor. So we're just gonna break it free and leave it with the bike. Okay, let's hope that we get this out. Oh boy. Those have been in there for a long time. Okay. We're gonna get the impact and just slowly just hit it so that maybe it'll break free. Because the tricky part here is that you can't necessarily add any flames because, well, you're dealing with gas. So we're going to try and get this done here. Yeah, see? Just need a little bit of help. Or I'm just getting weak in my old age. That one does not want to go at all. And I'm kind of concerned that I might strip it out. And that would be a bad day. Thank you. Thank you. That just made my day. Because they were tight. Okay, so I've already cleaned them a little bit in the parts washer. So I don't have any outside dirt making its way inside. So I'm just going to start by, I'm going to go right for the jugular here. I'm going right for the bottom bowl. Now, I'm guessing that if there's any dirt, it's going to be in the bowl itself and also in the main jets, right? So I'm going to do one carb at a time so that I don't make any mistakes between each other and see what we got. All right, moment of truth here. What do we got? Well, in all honesty, it's not that bad. I expected worse. I mean, it's definitely got some garbage in the bottom, but I'm going to say that probably the jets are going to be the ones that are kind of plugged up. So, what about the needle here? Needle moving at all? Oh yeah, it looks like it's moving. Okay, well, let's get into the jets. So starting off with the main jet, that one's clear. So kind of anticipated that's a lot larger than the other ones. So kind of anticipated that. Let's go to the intermediate one. And that one's not looking too great. It's open, but I don't see how it would be fully open because what size is this? It's a 42 and a half. Okay, so let's see what this one's like. And remember, maybe this is the good carb because it was running on 1. And then we have our pilot. And our pilot is fully blocked. Like fully blocked. Oh yeah. So that's definitely an issue right there. Pilot's fully blocked, so we're going to clean that out. We're going to clean all of these orifices out, reassemble it, and then move on to the other carb. But one thing I also want to do before I clean it fully is I'm going to take the fuel screw out, but I'm going to count my turns. So I'm going to screw it in, count the turns, and then I'm going to mark it down so that when I reassemble it, I can put it back exactly the way it's supposed to be. So going in, so half, 1, 1.5, and just about 2. So it's like 1 7/8. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to remove this fuel screw because you got to be careful. There's going to be a spring. Ooh, a little bit more juice coming up. And we're going to have an O-ring. And the O-ring with the washer is still in the carburetor, so that's something you have to make note of, because if you're cleaning it and you're blowing stuff around, you don't want to lose that. So I'm going to go fishing it out right now before I forget. So there's your little washer and your little O-ring. And in case you were wondering, the stack up for that, you put your spring onto the needle or the fuel screw, and then you would put your washer. Oh, let's try that over again. That O-ring was stuck to my finger. So you got your spring, your washer, followed by the O-ring. That's the stack up for that. So I'm going to put that together like that. Now we're going to go ahead, clean this out, clean out the orifices on these jets, blow out the jet. I'm going to remove the top here, which is your slide. I'm also going to clean that because if you're going to do it, you may as well do all of it. So there we go. You got your calibrated spring, and then you have your plunger. Now something to keep note of here, guys, is make sure that this diaphragm does not have any holes in it, because if it did, it would not operate properly. Essentially, the way this carb works is as air comes through the throat of the carburetor, there's a calibrated hole which causes a vacuum on top of this, counteracting the spring, pulling up the needle, and giving some fuel right from the main jet. So that's how that kind of works. And yeah, so now we're just going to clean it, reassemble it, make sure our fuel screw is right back at 1 7/8. Repeat that whole process for the other side, and then we're going to put it in the bike. Alright, so there's a few more jets that I forgot to mention when you clean these carburetors. There's one right up front here, so I'm just pulling it out right now. And that's what kind of prompted the video reset. And there's also one in here, and I would say do these two separate. Do one at a time because they're very similar, close to size, and they probably interchange. I haven't checked, but you just wouldn't want to do that, right? So just don't forget these two. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and last night was getting a little bit late, so I decided to call it, a night. But I did manage to get the carburetors fully cleaned, reinstalled. So I got the throttle cable installed. I also have the choke installed, but I still need to do a whole bunch of other stuff, like putting in all the tubes, putting in the intake, the gas tank, the seat. So let's skip forward to the point where I'm about ready to hit the button, because all of that is basically just a reverse. Pretty easy stuff. Alright guys, it's the moment of truth. I literally just sat on the seat here. Everything's put back together. I've got the fuel valve on. There's still fuel in the tank. Again, I didn't drain it, so I don't know how well the fuel is or how good it is. Let's give it a shot. So let's turn it on, see if it'll prime. It's going to take a bit of time to fill up those carburetors. Full choke. Let's see what happens here. Well, right off the bat, that's a bit better. It's actually maintaining idle. Don't die on me. Come on, girl. Ooh, without the choke as well. Can I give her some gas? And she's cold. Oh, idle's a little bit low though. Oh, idle's a little low. Oh, wow. Couple tanks of gas, this thing's gonna run wicked. So it's been running for a few minutes here, and as you can tell, barely any movement on even the mirror here. Just a slight shake. As it seems to warm up here, it's almost like it's dying off. I wonder if I'll be able to, yeah, I didn't catch it in time. Where's the idle? Oh, she's right down here. Let's see if I can give it maybe a little bit of turn here. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. We'll find out in a second. I think I totally went the wrong way here. Oh, maybe I didn't. That might be a little bit much. Bring her down just a bit. I think somewhere there would be pretty good. Man, it sounds pretty good for a stock pipe. Now, let's see if I pop it in gear if she's gonna lunge forward here. Oh no. Pretty good, actually. Not bad at all, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something here. And basically the moral of the story is make sure that if you're going to store your bike, that you're going to either drain all the fuel, including the carburetors, or at the very least, stabilize it. Because as you saw, the pilot jets were completely plugged up on this engine, or on these carburetors, which made the engine not even idle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of my fuel stabilizer that I love to use a lot, and hopefully that'll help clean any remnants in the tank, or even just help that tank kind of rejuvenate itself. Cross my fingers, but I honestly think after a couple of tanks, this thing is going to run even smoother than it already is. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.